everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Geeks Not Nerds Live. I am Captain Logan, and my panel this evening consists of the amazing Eric Holden.
I'm Luke Cage.
And the most Manosy of the real Manoses, the real Manos.
Hello.
And the curious
I am
Lo.
back.
You know, I was laughing so much through that I think it was mostly on my face instead of your epic turn. Sorry.
All right.
In case you guys missed it, let me recap. Manos started spinning, and then he spun back the other way. He span back the other way. I'll learn how to conjugate verbs sometimes this evening.
Gotcha. I'll try it. I'll try it better this time. Hold on. Hello.
Manos, I really missed you on this show because sometimes I really need some filler. I really need something to fill up the time a little bit, and you are just great for that. Thank you very much.
Yes. I'm nothing if not good at padding.
So, we got Manos tonight. Really nice to see you again, and it's been a long time since he's been able to make a live show for lots of technical glitchy reasons that we are working on. And tonight we're going to do something we haven't done. Well, something we've sort of done before. We're basically going to do a multi-topic extravaganza in a single evening. We're going to do a whole hour open forum that we're going to split up with our other segments that we do on the show. So about half an hour in, we'll go ahead and tackle our rants and geekiest things we did this week, and then we'll go to some more open forum. And we're going to periodically start doing these, I think. This is an idea I had today because we had so many questions on Facebook, and thanks to everybody who asked questions on Facebook and social media. And I might even go over to Twitter, because we always get Twitter questions, and I always forget about them. Because I post them on Facebook, it goes to both places, and I'm like, oh, look at these 30-something questions. Oh, and then I'll go to Twitter the next day and be like, sorry, Twitter, I totally forgot about you guys. And we had a lot of questions today that I thought were really good multi-topic type questions that would take 5 minutes to answer, but we wouldn't have really a whole half-hour great half-hour discussion on it. So we're going to do that tonight. So we're going to go back and forth between you folks watching live. Thanks for being here if you're watching us live. And Facebook. We're going to start with a Facebook question, but you guys go ahead and start asking your questions if you want to do that. And we'll go ahead and start running down the list. And Manos and Lo, you guys feel free if you want to also help me out looking at questions, and if you guys see cool ones you want to make sure we tackle, feel free to grab those so that we handle as many as humanly possible. And why don't we go ahead and get started? Eric, are you ready, sir?
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. The first question comes from Chadwick Van Oostendorp on Facebook, and Spider-Man trailer. Do you think trailers are getting better or worse at showing too much? This is a thing that I've been seeing a lot in places, and I was a little bit flabbergasted by it because it didn't bother me, but apparently a lot of people saw that new Spider-Man Homecoming trailer and thought that it gave away way too much, and they were talking about it almost like it was a Sony trailer, like it was throwing way too much story and plot stuff at us. And nothing against this guy, I didn't have that experience with it, but it's a good question. So first of all, did anybody here have that? Manos, Lo, did anybody look at that trailer and go, oh, wow, I know too much now?
Not with the Spider-Man one. I certainly think that it's a trend in movie trailers, but with this newest Spider-Man one, I didn't feel like I saw too much. Granted, I am the type of person that I like to watch, like, I'm somewhere in between the camps of, like, watch every single clip that they release and, like, watch nothing. Like, I know that's kind of a popular movement, is, like, see no trailers, look at nothing. Like, I'm not there, but I'll watch a trailer, like, one time and then, like, never watch it again and maybe avoid, like, the later trailers. But this one is fine. I've only seen it the one time, so maybe I missed some stuff that is, like, obvious. But at that point, if you're watching it 4 or 5 times and being like, oh, look in the background, like, this happened, like, you wouldn't have caught that maybe on the first time viewing it. So at that point, is it really the trailer's fault, or is it your fault for, like, looking at every little thing that's in the trailer? I don't know. I didn't see it with it.
Yeah, you know.
Manos, what about you?
Oh yeah, yeah. That's been a problem with trailers. Geez, for decades actually. It's not. Some people think it's a new problem. It's actually been an old problem. You and I both like the film Danger Diabolik from the 60s, like 66, 67. Have you seen the trailer for that film?
Yeah,
have you seen
everything.
It literally gives away the entire movie from beginning, first shot, to the last shot. The last shot of what happens to the hero is actually in the trailer. Scene by scene, it almost breaks it down. I've seen trailers. It's always been a problem.
The trailer actually does that. It breaks down the movie almost scene by scene, and then goes like for the last 10 minutes of the movie, it's like, see what happens.
I have had that, and that's always been a problem. And it's unfortunately not a new thing. I think the problem is maybe people think it's more of a new issue because we get more than one trailer for movies now. Like if we have a big summer blockbuster coming out, like with a Batman movie, we don't get one trailer or two trailers. We get like 5 trailers. We get trailers for the trailers. Like, oh boy, I can't wait to see that Spider-Man trailer tomorrow. We're inundated with trailers, and it's almost impossible to avoid them. Like, because I'm one of those people too. If I'm really excited about a movie, I'll tend to avoid trailers. I'll maybe see the first one or second one, and they go, okay, I'm done. But it's hard because, we have the internet. It used to be where you just go to the movie theater and see the trailers. Now they're constantly in your face and on your Facebook feed, your Twitter feed, and you just can't get it. You can't get away from them. And when they give too much away, it's kind of irritating.
Yeah, and they're events now, as you were suggesting. You'll hear people, and of course, if you think this is a problem, we're somewhat guilty of this. We review trailers sometimes on the channel, and I haven't been doing as much of that lately because I've always been somewhat uncomfortable with it, but I like the idea of looking at a thing like that as a piece, not to say, this movie's gonna suck because I didn't like the trailer, but to actually look at what it's trying to accomplish and see if it's doing that, like I do with everything I review. And I think that can be kind of interesting. But getting back to the actual question, do I think that that is getting worse? Not really.
No, but you know what is? Because this is a thing that
I haven't seen anything as bad as Amazing Spider-Man 2, which is still my go-to worst, gave everything away trailer. Although BVS is a close second, and like that. Don't get me wrong; those trailers made me think I was going to love that movie, which is why I was, of course, as disappointed as I was. I thought there was a really good chance that was going to be great, and I think we all thought there was potential for that film, right? Like, I don't think any of us walked into that going, that's going to be the worst thing imaginable. But they gave away Doomsday, and they gave away where Doomsday came from, and that was the best idea they had in the movie, and they also didn't do anything with it. But it was the best. But having that be the consequence of Superman killing Zod, brilliant. What a great idea, and they gave it away.
Even if trailers aren't getting worse, it does seem like as we get close to a movie and we start doing TV spots, they do not care what shows up in a TV spot.
Really?
They will put anything. Because I think Age of Ultron was the big movie where I kept seeing people being like, I've seen the whole movie already. And I'm like, I saw that trailer. What are you talking about? Oh, apparently the whole movie is in TV spots.
Ghostbusters had that too.
Did it?
Yeah, and I didn't realize this until like a couple days before it came out, and I started looking at TV spots, and I didn't know about the little Stay Puft knob they did at the end of that movie, and it shows up in one of the TV spots. And there were a lot. I think that movie and Sony is again, they did Amazing Spider-Man 2. They are obnoxious. They've seen movies recently, including that one, that have 30-something different TV spots.
Yeah, it seems
like have a million TV spots.
How meticulous you are crafting your trailer and what you let be seen and what not be seen, it will all show up in the TV spots.
Yeah, it's crazy. So anyway, well, let's go ahead and move on, shall we? Speaking of trailers, Supreme Overlord Shamara asks, are you guys getting nervous about Justice League being similar to BVS in tone, darkness, confusing story due to that last trailer? We didn't do a trailer talk on that. I was busy this last week, and like I said, I've been on the fence about whether or not I even want to continue doing trailer react. I like speculation videos. We're gonna keep doing those. And quick plug, Eric and I just recorded one with Dan on Spider-Man Homecoming, and the possibility of Sony taking Spider-Man back out of the MCU after the Homecoming sequel. Look forward to that video coming out tomorrow. But I still want to do the speculation things. But I'm weird about trailers. So anyway, let's talk about the trailer now. I don't know that I'm any more nervous about it than I was
It
before.
looks like BVS with jokes.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And a song that is there to manipulate you into thinking you're looking at something fun.
And even if
It
that
looks
movie
like
is
BVS.
fun, even if that movie is fun, they're overcompensating because they know that tonally and stylistically, visually, it looks like the same movie that didn't resonate with people. What do you guys think?
Yes. I think they are trying to fool us into thinking it's wacky fun, like a Guardians of the Galaxy film. But look, it still looks dark and muted, and it's like if you made a trailer for the movie Seven and put the Monkeys' "I'm a Believer" on this trailer. That's what we're looking at.
That.
Oh, and Cyborg looks awful, and I hope that's not finished.
Yeah, I hope it's not finished.
I know we often get stuff like that in trailers, like it's not finished yet. That needs to not be finished.
Yeah, I'm not too hard on how Cyborg looks because I've seen this kind of thing before, so I'm not that excited about that yet.
It just looks cartoony. Like I need it to be not finished rendering. I don't mind the design as much as the actual, like the special effect I think looks bad.
Yeah, I will say they are either trying to make this look like the case or this will be the case. Aquaman looks like he could be the breakout character of that movie.
I think they want him to be because he's got the next movie.
Yeah, it looks like he could be. I have to say that legitimately Aquaman riding on the side of the Batmobile is kind of cool. That looks like fun. Now, it might not be in any sort of story context you care about, and the rest of the movie might not make any sense at all. The first thing I said to Eric after I watched that trailer was, okay, I'm going to give them this. They are adapting, and Manos, I think you'll agree with this. They are adapting that first awful Justice League story arc from Jeff Johns at the beginning of 52. And these people look like they might actually get along and like each other a little bit, so it might actually be a step up from that material.
That would be wonderful. Oh, man.
And you don't have Green Lantern there for Batman to take his mask off in front of.
Oh, man. If Green...
Sure, you can do it to someone else, right?
Yeah.
They're only uniting the 6, so he's got fewer people to choose from. But did you guys see the teaser posters, too? They all say unite. They've gotten rid of the 7 now because there's only 6, so they just say unite.
Yeah. I've heard murmurs that there might be a 7th hero in the film, but I don't know. It might be a post-credits thing.
Isn't there something about how, like, Jon Stewart's going to be, like, in some kind of cameo role or something?
I heard that Green Lantern gets a nod, but won't be probably on the team or anything.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are also talking about how interesting it is that we've got that we're advertising a Justice League movie without Superman, even though, of course, we know Superman's in that movie.
We know he's in it.
I think it's a little too late. Yeah, man. I would say it's a little too late to do that, right? Because with BVS, you gave away all the cool stuff, and then you get to this movie, and they're like, okay, we're going to try to learn our lesson from that. Yeah, but we know Superman's in that movie. I don't really know what the point is of pretending like he's not, unless we get another trailer where he's there. And they might do a Superman trailer.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if I understand the point of killing him at this point, because we know he's coming back in the Justice League film. You know, there's no point of pretending like, oh, we're too dumb to know he's coming back. By the way, if the first thing Superman does is, when he shows up, is to punch Batman out, the movie gets 5 stars from me. I don't care whatever happens in the movie. If he just beats the crap out of Batman.
I hope he comes back with a big gun and like one of that thing that he's got, the original black suit, that anklet thing he's got up on his leg. I want that. I want pouches on that.
I really wish this movie was the Reign of the Superman, but that's just me. And I would have loved to have maybe seen that. But doing World Without Superman is weird because he's not actually really Superman and embodies those ideals yet. It seems like he's going to have to die before he becomes Superman, and hopefully that actually happens. But anyway.
He said he'd like to play the character that's in the comics.
So real quick before we move on, and Lo, did you see that trailer?
I saw it, yeah.
I think
You sound thoroughly excited about it.
Are you excited? Are you even going to see it?
I don't know. I mean, like, I'm not as passionate about it as you guys are, but just as a more casual DC fan, I don't know. I'm sort of at the point that all the movies of theirs that I've seen of like this live action universe have been sort of dull. And I don't know, like, I'm gonna have to see some like amazing reviews from people before I shell out money for it. Like, I'm just not, like, I just don't really care. I'm sort of apathetic to whether or not it's a good movie or a bad movie or anything. So, like, I've seen the trailer, but
That's completely understandable, but I do want to throw this out there. I kind of would love to see a return to what we did last year with the spoiler cast and reunite the whole 7.
I gotta say, I'm with Lo on this. My apathy for this film is palpable. I'm more excited for the Wonder Woman film. I'm still holding out for that being good.
That last trailer looked a lot better. I thought it looked a lot less generic than what we saw before. And I think there's a lot of stuff on the island that looks legitimately gorgeous. But, like, I don't know, Manos. I'm just afraid they cut it up real hard. And there's been a lot of... That's my worry, is that maybe they made a good movie, but we're not going to get to see it because we've had this twice now. And I don't know, man, like, it's a fool me once kind of situation, right? Like, I'm going to go and I'm going to watch it, but I'm not going to sit there like, you know, absolutely positive this movie's going to look as good as that trailer.
I would agree. That's my big fear, that the panic button is going all over the place and they cut it to ribbons. That's my fear too. But if they trust the material, if they trust the director, if the director has enough pull and is able to keep it together, hey, we might get our first win. That would be wonderful.
Well, and they really need it with that character because most people don't understand Wonder Woman, even if they think they like her. It's not a character that's permeated the way you'd like to see it permeate. And you especially, man, as being a big fan of that character. And as I've told you lots of times, like I like that Bruce Timm animated movie. There are Wonder Woman things I've seen and like. I'm still not a fan of that character yet. I'm waiting for the thing that turns me around and turns me into a Wonder Woman fan. I haven't had it yet.
I understand that, and she's definitely out of the big 3, the big trinity for DC. The most underutilized. She's the most misunderstood. So many people come at that character with their own viewpoints of what she should be, without even really looking at what the character is. I'm hoping, I'm hoping for a win on this one.
Last thing I want to say before we move on, we're already about 15, 20 minutes into the show, and we've only answered 2 questions. That's just like us, isn't it? It's just like me. But Eric and I saw a fan-made teaser poster the other day that we wanted to be real so badly. This thing cracked us up. So you guys have seen the teaser posters that have one of the Justice League, and then it's got the like JL logo in the background, and it says Unite across the bottom. Somebody made one, and it looked real professional. We
had to look up if it was real or not.
And I didn't want to think that it was possible this was real, except, well, I mean, I did, because it's great, but the way they've been making these movies and marketing them is so strange and counterintuitive that I think anything is possible at this point. It's a picture of the casket, of Superman's casket.
With the S on it.
With the S on it. Like it's one of the superheroes. And it's supposed to be in that lineup because they broke up that lineup and made those into singular. And if that casket was just sitting on the end of that, oh my god, I would have run out and bought the biggest version of that poster I could have found. I thought that was the best thing ever, and it's not real, but whoever made that, kudos to you, sir, because that's brilliant. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. Manos has either left or he's decided to let the closet speak for him. I'm not sure what happened there. So now let's go to another Facebook question, shall we? Oh, here comes Manos. Hi, Manos. Malik, what do you guys think about the Terminator franchise overall, and does it deserve a reboot, or should we just let it die? Obviously, we should focus on the second part of that. What do you think, Eric? Time to let that... And is it let it die for a lot of years and maybe try it again, or is it just there's nothing else to say with Terminator?
You cannot say anything more than Terminator 2, and you're not willing or daring enough to really tell different stories. I mean, Salvation tried, but did it badly. I still think the story that Salvation tried to tell could be told well. There is a story to tell in that future, but other than that, I don't know. People like Sarah Connor Chronicles. Maybe there are more stories to tell, but maybe TV or maybe movies are not the medium for it.
I thought the idea of a trilogy set in the future could have been great. and do a big
that would loop back to the first film.
A big post-apocalyptic epic, would have been wonderful. And like on a Cecil D. DeMille kind of scale, but that's not what ended up happening. Manos, Lo, do you guys want to weigh in on that?
Do you have anything, Lo?
I mean, it's another franchise that I'm like not super familiar with. I've seen the movies a few times, but that's about it. Like I don't know. I'm not super into the Terminator franchise, but I've been less than impressed with the recent stuff. So I say let it die. Like I think that the originals kind of speak for themselves, and I would have never thought to do a sequel to them. I don't know, because the whole point of them was that it was before the stuff that in the future that happened, and then they tried to go down that path, and I think that it just doesn't work. I don't know.
I would agree with that, and I would agree with something I think I heard Eric say is the story is pretty much done in two. All I really need to have said in the Terminator series is in the first and second films, and I just feel like after the second film, it's just been beating a dead horse over and over again. There's really no point to the series, and you see, there's not been one film that's come out since 2 that's kind of created excitement for the most part. They even try to bring back Arnold and still don't get people excited because the story's done. And
yeah, it's all recycle and rehash.
Yeah, it is. I say let it die. Maybe bring it back in another, 15, 20 years. Wait until we're dead and bring it back.
Speak for yourself.
Let's go to some more live questions, shall we? Scott McCall, what do you guys think? Oh, wait, I'm sorry. That actually was this question. Apparently, that person was also in the live comments. Or they liked that question and decided to also ask it. Give me a second here.
He was remaking that question.
Guys, in the comments, if you guys could help me out and relegate this mostly to questions, that'd be great. A lot of, I know you guys like to chat in there, but I'm trying to look for questions here. Gotham, hey, Captain Logan, hi there. The Joker Vlogs is returning. Did you know that? They're going to bring that back?
They never finished.
They never
started season 2.
Well, they did a first episode. I don't know if they're going back to that.
Remember when they got the exclusive get to look at the Dark Knight Rises scripts? So
yeah,
I
do remember that.
In a little
and then they did nothing with that.
And then it never came out.
Yeah. If they're bringing that back, I hope Scott McClure decides that's his name, right? I hope he goes back to something minimal and simple.
Well, and we're so far away from that trilogy now. I feel like he could maybe actually have something an interesting take on something. It's all done now. He doesn't have to worry about getting contradicted. He can look at what happened and maybe do something interesting.
Yeah, and I guess the worry would be we're already into another franchise now, and so there might not be as much interest in it. I kind of think there still will be, just because people like him a lot.
He's a good writer, too.
He's a good writer. He's a great actor, and we haven't had another Joker yet that people like as much.
Joker Vlogs is the Suicide Squad Joker,
but still played by Scott McClure. That'd be great. Actually, I would love that, and I wonder if that's not the crazy thing that he'll decide to do. Okay, going back to Facebook, that wasn't a question, but thanks for letting me know about that.
Hey, I got a question from Connor a couple of rotations ago here. He was asking me about if I'm excited for Twin Peaks Season 3. And my answer is yes. I am very, very excited. I've actually waited for Twin Peaks Season 3 longer than a number of our fans have been alive. I've been waiting since 1992 for Season 3. Because the second season ends on a cliffhanger, and a horrifying cliffhanger that really stays with you. And that's it. And it looked like for years it was never going to get done. Now it's done. It's about maybe a few weeks away from coming out. And I am pumped. I'm actually more excited for Twin Peaks Season 3 than Justice League.
Well, just speak for myself. That's understandable.
Yeah. Oh man, I know you guys watched it and were a little underwhelmed by the first episode. Yeah, that's true,
sorry.
I guess.
What was that? What was that, man?
Oh no, I know you guys weren't too into Twin Peaks when you checked it out, but oh my god, that show.
Saw the pilot. I didn't go past that.
Yeah, you didn't go past it.
I've heard it gets great. I just haven't.
I've also heard that drops off in season 2 and then picks back up, which is a thing that's kept me away from it. Where I'm like, I don't want to watch bad TV.
Yeah,
and then get good again.
It started out pretty strong, and it gets creepy and amazing, and it gets more and more supernatural, horrific. It does kind of stall a little bit in the middle of the second season, but boy, it ends strong, and just kind of had to sit and wait for it. So yeah, I'm all excited, and I'm really excited about people discovering the show. If you're hearing about the show, go check out the first 2 seasons on Netflix.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if that happens at all and how popular that actually ends up being.
Yeah, everyone I see talking about is people that were already fans of the show.
Well, and actually that's going to happen. But when the X-Files revival happened, that got a lot of people that obviously watched it before to watch, and that was such a big audience. I think a lot of us came back for it. But I don't know that anybody that wasn't already into X-Files came back for that show. So you'd be curious to see if that happens with Twin Peaks.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody jumped on
at all. Like when Dallas came back, I don't know that there were a lot of new people watching Dallas. I think it was just everybody that cared about Dallas.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens with it. But Manos, if we've learned anything from current culture and regurgitation of properties and IPs, it's that all you got to do these days is be real patient. Because you waited since '92 and it paid off, buddy. Oh. And if there's anything that somebody is like, oh no, I'll never get that back, just wait, guys. Wait. I mean, you might get a crappy reboot, but it will come back in some form. We resurrect everything. Like every IP now is like superheroes and comic books. Like, no, they don't stay dead. Nothing stays dead.
We will eventually get a Freaks and Geeks season 2.
Somebody's or a reboot of that.
Oh, that'd be awful. 90s Freaks and Geeks.
Okay, let's go back to
a quick question that I don't think any of the rest of you will be able to answer, which is why it'll be really quick. But Carl Maxey asked specifically me what I thought of the Game of Thrones trailer, and I don't think any of you guys watch Game of Thrones.
I can answer that. I think Lo really liked it.
Actually, it's all flash to substance. It gives away nothing. I was honestly kind of disappointed about it. Like, for that being like the trailer, I was sort of like, cool. All right.
Are there dragons?
No, there's 3 people walking and sitting down. It's just showing basically the 3 main characters that we already knew were going to be the main focus of this season because of where the plot lines have been going, and they're just walking and then they all sit down in their respective different throne room type places. It's iconic in the show, and that's it. I mean, it's very teasery, but the music choice was weird to me too. Lackluster. It underwhelmed me. I'm still so excited for the new season, but the trailer was meh.
See, of course I didn't watch that trailer, so I just have a lot of random pieces of music going through my head, and I'm just imagining 3 people walking into a throne room to Rock Me Like a Hurricane.
I assume it's cutting back and forth between. I saw the first 2 seasons.
Right, so one of them is walking and it's Rock Me Like a Hurricane, and then another one's walking and it's Rock Me Amadeus, and then there's a third one.
Not quite.
I won't watch it.
We will rock you is the third one.
I won't watch it before I finish the book. So I've read the second book and I've seen the second season. Eventually, I'll read the third book and I'll watch the 3rd and 4th season. And then I'll never finish the show because those books are never getting finished.
Yeah. Ain't it the truth?
Eric, as I said, all you have to do is wait. Now, it might not be him who writes.
It won't be George R. R.
Martin. It might not be Martin, but someday. Martin's gonna end up with his brain in a jar, and then he'll write.
And he'll finally write Ant-Man.
100 years from now. Yeah,
he won't be doing Game of Thrones. He'll write Ant-Man.
Right. He'll be the new writer on Ant-Man is George R. R. Martin in a like brain in a jar, and it'll say like Martin brain like on the cover of the book. Tieran and Hamill, is there a point to comic tie-ins? This is on Facebook. Is there a point to comic tie-ins before films, TV shows, and games, etc. are released if they're just going to be written out of continuity as the series continues?
No, they're just stealing money.
Yes, money milking, and furthermore, a lot of people don't really tend to even buy those. I don't know that they can't have good sales numbers. Why do they really make much money on those in the first place? Yeah, I don't know. I will say that Boom just did a thing with the new Power Rangers movie that I thought was kind of neat. They did a 48-page graphic novel that is a direct sequel to that movie, and that we hardly ever do. Usually it's like a pointless prequel, and you might read this and think it's a pointless sequel, but it was a little better than I thought it might be. I didn't love it, but it continues some character threads and things, and he's got a really good voice for those characters. So
I didn't.
That was kind of neat. I think we should do that kind of thing maybe a little bit more often. It's going to be Aftermath. I mean, that comic is called Aftershock. It's kind of exactly what you would expect it to be. We had to make up a reason that the putties keep showing back up because we kind of got rid of them all at the end of that movie. But I don't know. I thought that was kind of a cool effort. If you're going to do some kind of a tie-in, maybe after as opposed to before, because at least it's not going to be like how lame would it have been if we had a Power Rangers prequel? They're not going to.
We had the Amazing Spider-Man prequel coming.
Yeah, what was the point of that?
The only one that made sense.
Although I would have liked one for Power Rangers because maybe they could have delved into the Zordon stuff, and then you could have had costumes because he was a Red Ranger. But yeah, go ahead.
The one that made sense to do a prequel comic for, I'd imagine it's at least better than other prequel comics, was the Guardians one, because they got Abnett and Lanning to come in and do one-shots for each of the characters. And those are all characters that are doing things before that movie.
And for all intents and purposes, Abnett and Lanning created what they're basing that on, so it's cool that they got them to do it.
Yeah.
For folks that don't know.
Yeah, I didn't read that stuff, but I'd imagine it's probably better than most prequel stuff. But no, there's no point to it. It's just stealing money from you.
Divid22. Manos, will you ever review Spider the Musical, as it is financially the worst musical historically and current? I've never heard of that.
Is that Spider or is that Spider-Man?
It says, Spider the Musical, okay. Sorry, I was just making sure because it says Spider, and I was like, I might review that.
Yeah, great. I've never seen it. Have you seen it? Has anybody seen it?
No. I'd like to.
Did Love see it?
I like some of Bono's music in that.
Self-respecting Broadway nerd would.
There's a whole book about the production of it that I'd like to read. It has the worst title of anything I've ever heard. Turn Off the Dart.
Turn Off the Dart, yeah.
Ooh, that's bad. That's one of the worst titles I've ever heard.
Yeah. It's like it's about Spider-Man's dad. Hey, turn off the dark!
It's the origin of the Motel 6 guy. At the end of it, he says, we'll turn the lights on for you. But yeah, I've always been curious to see how that ultimately turned out, because, it got canceled and then they brought it back.
Well, and there's two versions of the show. There is the horrendous version, and then they took it off and retooled it, and they put out something that people were like, well, it's not the worst thing ever, it's kind of fun to see. So there were actually two versions of that play.
I also know that it's actually so spectacular bad, like Sesame Street made fun of it, which is amazing.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's funny.
They did a sketch about Super Grover, the musical, and they literally made fun of the fact that people were falling to the stage, which is amazing.
There was a great parody of that back in the day on the Mad cartoon show. If anyone remembers that was around for like 2 seasons, but the Mad Magazine cartoon show,
I know that
it did a Smallville the musical thing.
Oh, that was great. Awesome. I remember the Mad Magazine that came out the month Smallville premiered, or maybe it was a few weeks in.
I've read the Smallville story.
It's really funny.
Yeah.
And one of the opening jokes is something about how like every Tuesday somebody ends up with superpowers because of all these green rocks we should probably get rid of, and that was pretty great. Somebody's asking about the musical episode of Flash. Just so folks know, I'm not keeping up with those shows right now. I'm going to binge them over the summer and do spoiler casts. And maybe this is a good place to talk about this. Eric and I are talking about doing spoiler casts for more seasons of television, both past and present. And I can't keep up with this stuff week to week anymore. There's just not enough time in my day. And it was becoming far more than I could keep up with. So over the summer, I'll tackle as many of those as possible. Lo and I are going to, and Manos, if he's available, we'll do the season 3 by Zombie when it's finished. It's just about to start, I think. And I'll do Flash with Rasco if I can get to do that. And I'll make you watch whatever horrible shows that I need to watch. So you see Logan on his face. He's like, no, you won't.
God. Hey, Logan, remember when Arrow came out and it was kind of an event because there weren't very many superhero things to watch on TV?
Yeah, exactly. And now it's, of course, as we tend to do as human beings, we take it for granted now, and it's just kind of the world we live in now.
I don't take it for granted. I'm still waiting for good shows on television with superheroes. On television. I know there's good ones on Netflix. I'm waiting for good television shows with superheroes.
Yeah. And I say that stuff is based on serialized material in the first place, so broadcast is not the best place for them anymore. I think more of those things should jump the broadcast ship and get onto streaming, but that's just me. Because you can tell, a full-blown story and you don't have to worry about cancellation constantly. You know how many episodes you have out the gate, and you don't have to worry that you're not going to get your order, or you don't have to worry that they're going to force more on you on the back end and have to stretch your story, which is almost worse.
Now, if you were going to make a superhero TV show, I would recommend not jumping on a new platform that you can only watch on a video game console.
Yeah, like Powers did. Eric and I at some point are going to try to tackle that, and it's so weird. Powers. It's so weird. It's already over. There's so many of these things that are already over. We're already done with the first season of Legion. I haven't watched more than the first 20 minutes of the pilot yet. I've still got a week to watch that show because I'm going to do that with Steve. Steve and I are going to do a spoiler cast on that show, and anybody else that happens to watch it, it's with the channel here. But
oh my God, the first season's done already on Legion?
It's 8 episodes.
8 episodes, yeah.
Wow.
It had a short order. And I'm hearing nothing but wonderful things. I really was impressed with what I saw of it, so I'm very excited to get back into that. It looks like a really sophisticated psychological thriller, and kind of like I'm having with Hannibal, because I'm starting to watch that show. I'm really impressed that it's broadcast. You won't believe it's broadcast television.
No.
But I mean Legion. You won't believe it's broadcast television. It's crazy.
Wasn't it like TNT or FX?
It's FX.
FX is a little bit more than... FX is more around AMC than it is...
Yeah, but even still...
ABC.
Yeah. Yeah, no. That whole, because that's, what is it? NBC that Hannibal is on. That's nuts.
Insane.
That's crazy talk. Okay, let's look at some more. And if you guys see some questions, feel free to throw them out.
I see a couple quick ones.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Lo.
We had multiple people in the chat asking after Cap's reviews of Teen Wolf, because I know somebody sent you the stuff. One person even asking if I was going to be reviewing it with you. I don't think you've had time to even contemplate watching that show yet. It's just on the back burner.
I haven't.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. So just because there were multiple people asking, I figured we could talk about it real quick. I love that show.
If you would consider talking about that with me, I would love to have somebody else with me on that, so I'm not flying solo by the seat of my pants. That would be great.
I love it.
And I will probably... We can do what Eric and I are talking about doing with other things if you're up for it, Lo, and do 3 videos and do season by season of the ones I've got. I know there's more than that, but he sent me 3. It would be better for my brain.
Far, so.
It would be better for my brain if I only had to talk about that one season at a time. I would really appreciate that. Eric and I are talking about eventually getting to X-Files and doing that.
Yeah, I'd be totally down.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Great.
Peek behind the curtain, guys. This is us talking about stuff we're gonna do.
Yeah, you guys, we've got about 80 viewers right now, and they've all just shown up for a Geekvolution business meeting they didn't know was going to be
there were
commencing.
Enough people talking about it. I saw a couple different people ask it, so figured I'd bring it up.
Manos, what question did you see that you wanted to talk about?
I actually saw a question directed to me a few minutes ago about what I thought of Iron Fist, because I wasn't included on the the spoiler chat because I really hadn't finished
It's not
it.
fair. You thought that you weren't included. We couldn't figure out how to get you in there.
And he wasn't done yet.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
weren't finished yet. Yeah.
I wasn't finished yet.
He wasn't excluded, okay? I just
Oh, no,
want
no.
everybody to know that. We did not exclude
We
Manos.
did not excommunicate him for being too radical.
Right, that's not what happened.
No, I just couldn't.
No,
I couldn't make the
you
show.
couldn't be too radical for that show. We hated that, and we made it very clear. Hey, I'm sorry, go ahead, Mano.
That's okay. Yeah, actually, I just couldn't make the show because I couldn't finish it because each episode is a chore. It's a huge crap sandwich that it takes a while to eat. And I'm on episode 7. 6 was relatively better. I actually
That's directed by Rizzo.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one directed by a guy who's actually a fan of martial arts. What do you know? His episode was good.
Oh, so you're starting the bad half of the show. Cool.
I know. It took a weird direction where it was actually like a martial arts show. If you don't mind, Logan, I would like to do a Manos on Iron Fist or something like that.
Yeah, we talked about having you do an addendum to it. You're welcome.
Cool. I would love to do that. I'm almost done with the episode. I only have like episodes 8 through 12, 13?
13. Yeah, you got about half the show left.
Oh man! All right, I'll have probably a video up by 6 months. I don't know. Soon as I'm done.
Guys, it's going to be a real special event. Manos is going to bring you his discussion on Iron Fist the week Defenders comes out.
I hope I finish it by Defenders. Yeah, I will do
6
a
months.
video about.
Defenders is only 4. That's coming faster than you realize.
Oh man, I know. Man, I just. It ain't Samurai Jack. Let me tell you that. It's a lot harder to watch.
Hey, do any of you guys watch Rick and Morty?
It's not Kung Fu.
Does anybody here like Rick and
No,
Morty?
I've seen an episode.
I do.
Did you catch the season 3 premiere yesterday?
I watch it when it's all done with the season.
Oh, okay. Because for April Fool's Day, they were streaming it on their
Is it
website.
good?
They had the season 3 premiere. It was good. It was really fun.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's a good April
I
Fool's Day
know.
prank.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, they just had that streaming back to back all day on like the Adult Swim website. Really
that's
funny
awesome.
episode. So it's like a little teaser for the rest of the season, which I think they have officially announced is coming out this summer now. So.
Somebody asked about MST.
Yeah, go ahead.
Somebody just asked me about MST3K. You know I'm excited about that. I can't wait. I joked to Lindsay that I was going to try and binge and watch all 14 episodes in one day, but that's like a full 24 hours because they're movie-length episodes. So I'll probably try and catch maybe 3 at a time.
That's still a lot.
Oh, yeah, I know. That's quite a bit. I was definitely going to be talking about it on my channel, The Real Manos. I was trying to decide if I should do something on this channel. I haven't decided yet. If I maybe want to talk to one of you about it, if any of you watch it with me.
Yeah, if I can get around to it, because I'm curious about it. I wouldn't mind doing a spoiler cast on it, which would be kind of weird with 13 movies, but I'd be willing to do that.
Have they announced the film slate yet? Like, do we know any of the movies yet?
No, they're trying to keep a cover on that, but in the trailer there are some clips of some films, and I've already recognized 2. One is from Reptilicus, which is a Norwegian kaiju film. And
Sure, classic.
Yes. And the other one I'm very excited about is Star Crash. And that is a 1979 Star Wars ripoff with David Hasselhoff.
Oh, yes, I have heard of that.
And that sounds great. I did a video on my channel about the top 10 videos I most want to see, the top 10 movies I most want to see on the new MST3K, and Star Crash was in my top 10. So I was like, done. It's a great Star Wars ripoff. It's produced by Roger Corman. David Hasselhoff is in it.
Yeah, that's why I know it.
He's got a lightsaber and he's fighting robots. It's great. Oh, and Christopher Plummer's
I really hope they do.
in it.
I really hope they do Abraxas, Guardian of the Universe, because that movie is delightfully terrible.
Which one?
Abraxas, Guardian of the Universe with I think it's Macho Man.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that film. I've never seen it.
It's Jesse Ventura. Jesse Ventura is a space cop.
Yeah,
he's like 500 years old. It's great.
That's hilarious. That would be good for him. But we'll see.
And what's his name? Jim Belushi is in it as his character from The Principal. It is in the same universe.
I very much want to see them do Killdozer. If they could do Killdozer, I'd be very happy. Which is about a alien possessed bulldozer that kills people.
Naturally.
Yes, of course. That's just science.
I wonder, now that you say that, if they have a riff tracks on Maximum Overdrive, because I think that would be great for them.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they'd done a simulcast for it.
I have been wanting to do a commentary on Maximum Overdrive for years, Manos. I think that might be a cool thing for you and I to do an actual riff on. Manos and I have been talking about riffs for a long time. We haven't done one yet, but we've been talking about actually scripting out a commentary. And we have a plan for one that I don't want to announce yet because I think we're actually going to do that. But Manos, I think Maximum Overdrive is a good possibility.
That would be good, yeah. If what we do, I think, succeeds, if we're successful at doing it, I would love to take a stab at it. I would love to take a stab at Green Goblin's film debut.
Yes, absolutely. And we can make as many hockey references as we can possibly figure out.
That film will scare the hell out of you.
And Yeardley Smith is in that film too. And Yeardley Smith is in that film. She's Lisa Simpson.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, in the trailer for that, which is just Stephen King talking to you, he goes, "I'm gonna scare the hell out of you."
Well, agree to disagree, Stephen King.
Let's go ahead now and go on to rants, and we'll come back and do a few more questions right at the end of the show, shall we? Eric, would you like to start us off?
Sure.
You have something you'd like to rant about this week?
I do have something I'd like to rant about this week.
Let's get right into it.
I ranted to you about it last night.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that, and I can't wait for a reprise of this rant.
So there's a YouTube channel called Garage Hero, who do tokusatsu videos. They have a tokusatsu film school, which is great if you want to try and make anything like that. And they do these short films. They've done a movie called Gun Caliber, which is a real raunchy send-up of the tokusatsu genre. Equal to that film called Strega. And then 2 days ago, there was an announcement that they had sold the rights of that film to Toei, and it was going to be the next Kamen Rider. And that just ran around the internet for 2 days. And then last night, the Garage Hero guy puts up a video saying it was an April Fool's Day prank, which means he started his April Fool's Day prank on April 1st in Japan, but didn't say it was an April Fool's Day prank until April 1st in America ended.
So there's no reason for anyone to think it was a joke.
And he kept saying in that video, well, if anyone read the article, it says it's a joke. Here's the thing. It wasn't one article because everyone picked it up. All the news outlets that would pick up things like that picked it up. So the one I read is from one of them. I didn't read the original article. I didn't know there was an original article that would tell you. And he was real just kind of, in that whole video, he was really, I don't know, where he was like, oh, it was a social experiment. See, they don't care about independent stuff, but the second the name Kamen Rider was attached to it, everyone was talking about it. And I was like, well, no, it's because it was unprecedented that they would buy another property and make it another property.
It's basically taking a fan film and turning it into a TV show.
Yeah, it was. I really didn't like.
That's a little underhanded, I think.
Yeah, and people were calling him out on saying, well, you're just getting views, and he's like, well, yeah, kind of, but it was a social experiment. No, it wasn't. It wasn't a social experiment. It was a bad April Fool's Day prank that got you a bunch of attention.
It was an experiment that just happened to benefit you financially.
Yeah. And I like their stuff, but I thought this was, I didn't agree with this. I thought it was a little underhanded. It was a little, and Couch is saying like, oh, it's a social experiment.
Yeah.
That would be like if when Kirkman started making Invincible, he made a big announcement that Marvel had bought Invincible and he would be going to the Marvel Universe, and then came out and was like, see, you only cared about Invincible once the news outlet said that he was going to Marvel.
But conveniently now 3 million people know about it.
Yeah. So I didn't care for that. I thought that was still a little underhanded, a little sleazy. Also, the movie's not going to be done for like another year and a half, so why draw attention now? Like, wouldn't you, if you were going to build up publicity, wouldn't you do that when you're closer to the finished product? I don't know. It really bothered me. I thought it was a poor April Fool's Day prank. And I don't think it was an April Fool's Day prank. I feel like it was a publicity stunt that he justified as an April Fool's Day prank. So I didn't appreciate
Because you can do that anywhere else during the year. It's a lie.
Yep.
Well, my rant is also about April Fool's Day, and it's this simple. April Fool's has become and of course we do a joke video for April Fool's Day every year. And
Did we do one this year?
I think so.
Okay.
I can't remember. I have a horrible memory, and I don't remember. Yes, we did. I spent the last 48 hours working on it.
My knees still
didn't take
hurt.
that long. Eric's knees still hurt. It took us like 6 takes or more to get that thing with Eric dropping to the floor. And the next day, I pick him up from work at 10:30 at night. He gets in the car. He goes, "My legs hurt." I was like, "Why?" He goes, "How dare you have the audacity to ask me that question?" But anyway, I enjoy participating in this. I don't try to really like freak anybody out or make them think something is real for anything past the first couple minutes of something. Where I try to make it as ridiculous as I can in the video, so that it's a fun excuse, not to try to make a bunch of money, but where it's a fun excuse to make a silly, goofy video that would be difficult to conceptualize any other time of the year, right? And I feel like it's gotten to the point where everybody kind of sees April Fool's Day as like a holiday before it's anything. I think people are ready for it. We strap in for it. We don't. You can't trust anything the whole day. And yet every year there's at least one article that I still fall for, and I just hate myself for it. I feel like I complete moron.
I saw a picture last year that I thought was great, where just a picture of somebody like pointing a gun like at camera that just said, "Firefly will not be renewed today. Do not post it."
That's awesome. I just want to turn off my phone, unplug my internet, because if actual news happens, you won't believe it. And this is going to sound horrible and morbid. If the next 9/11 happens on April Fool's Day, nobody's going to believe it.
Last year, if you guys remember, my appendix burst at 4 a.m. on April Fool's Day.
On April Fool's Day, people didn't believe you. You posted on it, everybody was like, "Shut up, Lo."
Yeah, I had multiple people I don't think I had anybody that was just flat out "ha ha, very funny," but I had people that were sort of wait, I don't want to assume that this is a joke in case it's real, but it's real. I'm so not the type of person to pull that type of April
It's
Fool's
because we act like you're dumb if you fall for these jokes. So
Yeah.
you have to take everything with a grain of salt, because if you're taking in for a second, you're dumb.
And not to get political. Yeah, and not to get political, but can we agree that is more difficult and more dangerous now than it's ever been, because we already live in a world where I feel like I have to take most things with a grain of salt. It is the hardest time to deal with April Fool's Day, because lying has become the new truth telling. And so I
would have backed that up. I would have backed that up, because
for this channel, but everyone knows what I'm talking about. It's just how I feel about it. And so when I can't believe I just said that, but the thing is, there's still always something that I don't think to look at the date of, and I just assumed that it was from a couple of days ago. And the big one, and the one this time was Venom being cast by Sony. I thought that was real, but it wasn't. They said it was Zac Efron, and then the company the website that put it up, I can't remember which one it was. One of these one of those guys, yeah.
Scream something real clever. Scream something.
One of those websites, yeah, it's appropriate because it's about movies. But they were like, the next day they went to that article, and of course the top they said it was an April Fool's Day prank, and then they went, "But do you think that's a good idea?" And
yeah, I've learned not to trust a thing on April Fool's Day. And by the way, with the political climate as it is, it's not just forget April Fool's Day. We have The Onion and several different Onion-like websites when I read something lately, I was like, oh, I better double check on that.
You know, a lot of things just
I better check a couple different sites to make sure that's a real story.
Yeah, it's to the point
Anything
where
can happen now. Anything you used to think was impossible and would be an insane exaggeration. Anything is possible now. Sorry, Lo, go ahead.
well, no, it's to the point where I have to backtrack. Like, okay, this website is quoting this website that's quoting this website. That leads back to The Onion. Cool. Like, and none of them are mentioning that this came from a satire. Like,
oh, I know. You know what?
Cross-reference
Like,
before she can even read the article. Sorry,
my
go ahead.
My favorite April Fool's joke, because the internet like makes April Fool's jokes so easy. Like, you know, hey, somebody's cast as Venom. Ha ha! I lied and you fooled. Fell for it. Like, you know, that's okay. There was, I don't know if you've heard about the Mount Trashmore prank that happened like in the 80s. In Norfolk, we have a radio station, FM 99, and the morning DJs there, Rieger and the Bull, did a prank where they made a fake news story and they covered it all day. And I don't know if you're familiar with Mount Trashmore, but Mount Trashmore was created in the 70s, and it is literally a mountain of trash that's covered with dirt. And you know, it's kind of an environmental, like it came out in the environmental era of the 70s, and is kind of a monument to, you know, to taking care of the environment. It's literally a mountain of trash in the center of Virginia Beach. And they did a story where they claimed the mountain exploded due to methane gas and blew up right in the middle of the city. And people fell for it and freaked out, called like fire departments, police departments, people calling the mayor of Virginia Beach. People flipped out, left work, and all that kind of thing. And yeah, they were doing like news broadcasts, like interrupting their show. Like, okay, you know, this is how many dead. And
the elaborate ones are always the best ones.
Yeah, they almost got fired for that. Actually, they got in big trouble for that. But yeah, it was.
Like that.
Yeah, this was like, you know, this is 80, so, you know, you can't like check Facebook to see if Mount Trashmore really exploded.
You had to drive there.
You had to drive there and look.
One of the best of the kind Manos is talking about that I ever saw was I didn't actually witness this, but I saw people post pictures on Facebook, and I think this was an April Fool's Day prank, but it was a few years ago, and you know, you have those electronic signs on the highway that the city can change what's on the sign. There was one that said they changed it to say like zombie alert while you're driving by it.
I think that's actually a pretty common prank for those type of signs.
Is it?
Because they're kind of easy to hack. Like, I remember seeing, like, this is how you, like, hack one of them. And then, like, you know, people having pictures of, like, you know, such and such crazy thing said. But it also could have just been Photoshopped because internet. Look at how cynical I am.
Well, did you hack one of those? Do you know this because you hacked one?
Yeah, that was the immediate next thing of like, so I saw this thing about how to hack it, and then I hacked it.
No, I'm way too boring for that. Or, no, I'm way too, like, rule following for that.
She doesn't want to get arrested, even though...
I would have, like, a panic attack driving to the place, like, before I even got out of the car.
Lo, do you have a rant this evening?
I was going to kind of rant about April Fool's Day as well, just because that's the only thing that's bothered me lately. Just kind of all the same thing where, like, I just feel like a lot of April Fool's Day jokes aren't that clever. It's just like, you know, splashy headline that's going to get people to click, and then you click, and then it's like, haha, fooled you. Like, okay, cool, you got me to click a headline. Aren't you awesome? Like, I don't know, that takes no effort, that takes no comedic chops, that takes nothing. It's just think of anything that people really want or really don't want and create a fake article, and it's just lazy.
I saw one that kind of annoyed me because of how lazy it was. It was actually the one I told you about, but I didn't tell you the whole thing, which is I saw this headline that was Sylvester Stallone and Michael Rosenbaum are in Guardians 2.
Who are in?
Yeah, they are in
legitimately
Guardians 2. Apparently their role is connected. They're some kind of partners or something. They're very important to the movie.
I'm so excited about it.
But I saw the headline said, and Sylvester Stallone are going to be Galactus and Silver Surfer. Obviously that's not true.
Or possible.
But I clicked the link there was some reason I clicked the link. It was an article that had been written days ago, speculating about who they could be. So it was a fake headline to get you to an article that they wrote. That's not cool.
Yes, Kevin Spacey in the comments. Michael Rosenbaum is in Guardians 2, but you're burying the lead. The important thing is that he's going to get screen time, and possibly quite a bit of screen time with Stallone, and I am losing my mind over this. Like this is the next thing I am most excited about, is just those two actors
I almost didn't
together.
Tell you.
And there's a part of me that wishes that you hadn't, and I was already excited about Guardians 2, but oh my god, I'm losing my mind over it.
And that Michael Rosenbaum was one of the like shortlisters for Star-Lord in the first movie, and so they're like, well, we didn't,
which would have been great,
but we want to use him as somebody important.
My hope is that this kickstarts his career again, and not that he couldn't have done more stuff if he wanted to, but he's been not interested in acting lately. I don't know if you've ever heard him talk about that, but he much prefers to be behind the camera. The main reason he claims he left Smallville is he was just tired of acting. It wasn't even Smallville. He just didn't want to do it anymore. He was like, it's not my favorite thing. He almost talks about it like, doesn't it suck to be good at a thing that you don't like doing as well as another thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happens to me all the time. It's really irritating. But
Manos is just so good at selling shoes, and he's really sick of it.
And I don't want to, damn it! I can't even see Stallone as Galactus. I mean, come on.
No, but I can see Rosenbaum as Silver Surfer. That's good.
Yeah.
No, that's good casting.
Yeah, that's good. No, that is good casting. He's got the head and everything. But Stallone is like, I'm Galactus!
I
hunger! No.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was Manos doing Stallone doing Galactus. So, Manos, do you have a rant this week, sir?
Well, I was going to talk about something a little off the cuff here. I was going to rant about April Fool's Day.
I should have just... I should have prompted you guys before the show, because I knew that ours were both April Fool's Day related. But I just put you guys in the deep end and say, you guys just go right ahead, just whatever you want to rant about this week. Well, 50% of it will be the same thing.
Yeah, we could have called this. We could have called this show this week. Yeah, we could have called this show "Get Bent" April Fool's Day. But yeah, I would. Yeah, I mean, I would back up like what Lo said. I mean, the lying April Fool's Day, like, hey, this guy got cast as this. Click on here. Ha ha, I lied. That's lazy.
There used to be effort put into April Fool's Day pranks on the internet.
I remember one of my favorite things that was done on April Fool's Day was IGN's trailer for a Zelda movie. I still go back and watch it. It's so good. It's like 2008, 2009, somewhere around that time period. And it's like really well done, and like you could totally believe it, but it's also, even when you're disappointed that it isn't happening, you still have a really cool fan trailer to watch that's like high quality, like, as opposed to just like having an article that says new Zelda movie in the works, like, which everybody would be so happy about. You've got this cool thing that people put effort into that you can go back and watch, and like, I don't know.
And then you click the link, and it's like to Rick Ashley or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's really funny back in 2005. But I just I see this all the time with April Fool's Day. And like, I will say, if I had to rant anything, I did mention we did talk a little bit about the Justice League trailer and Stripes in it, and I can't believe, I don't know if it's Nickelback or somebody covering Come Together. Maybe it's
not Nickelback.
It's Avenged. It might be Godsmack. I think
No, it's not. He's just saying things.
Is it insane?
No, playing "Come Together." That's Godsmack playing at the end of the trailer, and like those two songs.
Is it?
Yeah, that's Godsmack.
Okay.
And look, I like those two songs. I like those two bands, but they are not Justice League movie music at all. And I know you're trying to fool the audience into thinking this is wacky fun, but look, the Justice League are epic, and you need music that says that. That's why I've been digging the Wonder Woman trailers, because they have epic music in them. They don't they're not like they're not playing Cyndi Lauper in the Wonder Woman trailers, for God's sakes.
Well, look, it's fine if that's the movie that they're making, but at the same time, it's the same thing selling Suicide Squad, so it's a strange.
The trailer uses that Beatles song really well.
Yeah,
you can use a song well.
You can use a song well, and you know what, Zack Snyder. One of the things I've liked about his artistry is that he knows how to make a trailer, and he's been very great at it. You need music for Justice League. You need something epic. Either like use part of the score if you have it already, or some band that has some kind of epicness to them. Like Nightwish would have been fantastic for a Justice League trailer. Or hell, I was listening to Disturbed earlier today, and they have this song. They did this cover of Land of Confusion that sounds amazing, and it would have been great. And Land of Confusion even has a line about Superman. Where are you now? That would have been fantastic in this trailer. I would have been there first day. Instead of in reality, I'll probably be there, I don't know, maybe the week after or something like that.
Yeah, Manos, theoretically I'm with you, except everyone would have made fun of that because confusion is the last word you should use after BBS.
That's why it would be so perfect!
Let's get to our next segment real quick, because I'd like to answer a few more questions if we can before we finish the show, and do Geekiest thing that you did this week. Well, what is the Geekiest thing you did this week? And I think I know what it is, but go ahead.
Yeah, the geekiest thing I did this week was today I was at WonderCon, which was lots of fun. Spent the day going to a couple panels, walked the show floor, said hi to my comic shop who was there, just normal con things. Typically, I'm the type of person that cosplays at cons, even when I go to Power Morphicon and have watched 10 Power Ranger episodes ever. I still pulled out like a kind of like crappy Kimberly costume, but yeah, I had a lot of fun. I wore this Spider-Gwen hoodie, which is like halfway there. It doesn't fit me anymore because of my stupid pregnant belly. I can't get it to close. It's like a month and a half more and I won't have to deal with this anymore. But yeah, that was my geekiest thing, which I think is a pretty geeky thing. Probably one of the geekiest things I'll do this year.
Guys, real quick, in the comments, Mom Yora says, less than 3 hours until 24 here. Because in that trailer, I said midnight tomorrow. In case anybody still doesn't realize that's an April Fool's Day video, that's not happening. I'm not going to sit around and watch 24 40 times without going to bed for an entire year. That's not happening. There may be something happening with 24 down the road, but I don't want to give that away in case it doesn't happen. But it won't be that. It won't be an entire year. Can you imagine my pitching that to my wife? So you're not going to see me for a year. I'm not going to leave this chair. The Pepsi company swears that if I just drink Mountain Dew constantly, I won't have to go to sleep. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Manos, what is the geekiest thing you did this week, sir?
I do a lot of geeky things each week. What really stands out? I suppose, I was watching a clip from Steven Universe that happened in last season where the two giant fusions were fighting, Malachite versus Alexandrite, in the episode Super Watermelon Island. And I was watching the fight and I was thinking, oh man, this would sound, the music in this scene is really good, but let's see how it would sound if I put the Autobot Decepticon battle from the Transformers movie in the background. And it linked up beautifully. I loved it. It was fantastic. Easily the geekiest thing I've ever done. Probably top 10 in my entire life. It was really dorky.
That's pretty geeky. That's a good one.
And I watched it over and over again. Like, man, when she hits her there, it's perfect. Yes, that was embarrassingly geeky.
Eric, what's yours?
I don't know.
Nothing.
I mean, I started reading 60s French science fiction comics because I'm excited for a science fiction movie, and I started watching Stargate because I want to watch something spacey. That's why I started Stargate SG-1, I guess.
Yeah.
It's hard to pick because everything I do is
Freaky.
I don't do things that are.
And the
and I went
things-
to an arcade bar. Oh, and I went to work where I sell comic books. Oh, and I.
Yeah, like the geekiest things we do are probably making videos, and that doesn't count because duh.
Oh, and I've been watching The Community for the third time, and that's a geeky sitcom. Like there's nothing in my life that doesn't.
What Eric is really saying is he wishes I would just axe this segment, but the geekiest thing I did this week was probably I was gonna say playing Galaga with my dad last night, but I think I topped it today. When you and I went out to Big Lots to buy many seasons of Power Rangers because they were in an insane sale. They had seasons and volumes of Power Ranger seasons for like $5 and $8, and I bought like 9 of them.
And he saw them yesterday. He came home last night and was like, should I have bought those? I'm like, yeah, you should have bought those.
Yeah.
There's $16 everywhere, $5.
Yeah.
Even if it's in 2 parts, it's cheaper.
And I was like,
sale.
yeah, but I have access on Netflix. I don't need these. They're going to stay in the shrink wrap, and I'm not going to actually watch them. He's like, yeah, but what if they ever leave Netflix? And also, you collect superhero TV shows. And I'm building a library of everything. So even if it's on Netflix, I got to have it eventually. And I was like, yeah, but I can wait on them. And he's like, when are you going to find those for $5 again? He was like angry and was like, if you don't do it, I'm going to do it. And I would have to drive
me there. I
so
will
he
buy
could
them.
do it. But
I did buy one. I bought a duplicate of one that you had.
You did.
It is my favorite season of Lost Galaxy, but I would have bought Lightspeed Rescue and Time Force and in Space if they were there.
Yeah, if they have more
if they
copies.
had duplicates.
Yeah. Still have them. Maybe that's probably the geekiest thing I did. Okay, we're not going to read the comments of geekiest thing this week because we're already kind of out of time. Let's do a couple more questions before we finish out. Lower Manos, if you guys see any really good ones, throw them out. I'm going to go back to Facebook, maybe ask one more from there. So everybody can just give me a minute. And if you guys want to throw one out, go right ahead.
Everybody's saying their
We don't
geekiest
like-
thing right now.
Yeah, because we usually do that.
Inspired by Power Rangers, what do you guys think is the most ill-timed inclusion of a licensed song in any show or movie? The Power Rangers movie when they had I know you said that in the question, but that was the most tone-deaf thing they could have possibly done with that movie. Like, I was pretty on board and like with it, and then they did that like moment where they had the Power Rangers theme, and I was like, it just doesn't work.
No, it's the other one in that movie that is the worst. It's the Stand By Me.
Stand By Me.
Stand By Me. We were laughing in the theater.
Yeah, I mean they're both bad. For me.
Just the two of us just laughing.
For me, the
And
Power
again,
Rangers
I didn't bother me as much the second time, but I knew it was coming, so...
Yeah.
It starts, and Cap just starts mumbling, just like, no. And the song keeps going. He's like, you're not doing this.
No, you really, guys. Really. And then, with what Lo's talking about, she's right. I mean, that's insanely intrusive. And if you had to do that, could you at least either go back to the original song and use one of Wasserman's cuts, or make a new one? They went back to the one from the '95 movie. Why? Why? They didn't even write another version.
Also,
Well,
every
and
song
what
is
bothered me is less that they included like a weird version. It's just that like they were sort of making this movie that was more like, okay, this is Power Rangers for the kids that grew up with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So we're going to make it a little bit more mature. We're going to make it a little bit more adult, like not crazy or anything. It's still kind of Power Rangers. I mean, it's not a perfect movie by any means, but like, and then to like backtrack to like kind of Transformers level of like, oh yeah, this is just all about like the toys that you remember from when you were a kid. Like, remember that cartoon? Here's the theme song. Like, and then to snap right back into like, we only had that little snippet of the song. It just, that was like the worst point in that movie for me. Worse than the Krispy Kremes, by far.
I love the Krispy Kreme thing, man. After two viewings, I don't know why.
You know
I think
what
it's
I
so
do?
funny.
Honestly, they say the name Tommy Oliver at the end 100 times more than they say Krispy Kremes in that entire movie. I was like, stop. I get that you're trying to do
it's because it's supposed
but
to
it's
be
not working.
I haven't seen the movie, but after watching your review, Logan, I kind of wanted to go get some Krispy Kreme because that sounded pretty good.
Oh, they were so good! It was like a s'mores donut. It was so good. Did you actually eat your donut?
I didn't. I gave it to Jason.
Oh, it was so good.
I gotta ask you guys, since I didn't see the film, I do have to ask you this: Bulk and Skull weren't in the film, right?
No.
I really wanted them.
So there's no
They
Bulk and
had a
Skull.
bully. They had a bully.
No.
Easily could have.
They had 3 bullies.
Yeah.
And so no Bulk and Skull theme song, right?
No.
No.
Oh, man, awful. No.
No.
No, but wouldn't it have been great if for no reason you got into the credits and they started rolling and you just got
Oh man, that would be great. The Bulk and Skull, oh man, the Bulk and Skull theme makes everything better.
That would have been a way better post-credit or the mid-credits thing. Where, like, you think it's going to be Tommy Oliver, it's like Bulk and Skull.
Or wouldn't it be great if they were calling him, and we're giving things away from that movie, but spoiler, so like, you don't actually see him because, of course, they haven't cast him yet, and now there's talk that that the Green Ranger might be a girl, so we might not actually, or it might be Tommy that's a girl. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But you have an empty seat, and the guy at detention keeps calling his name, and it would have been really fun if they pulled back and they had a couple guys that are clearly supposed to be Vulcan Skull, like at detention.
Like
that had to get them in there.
Spawn?
But at least they'd be there, and then you could use them in a sequel.
Yeah, like Sam and Twitch and Spawn.
Would sort of be like that, except it would be an intentional joke, not like a slap in the face to people who love those characters. It's different, you know. Anyway, let's do one more question, guys. Let's find something cool.
All right, while you do that,
cool.
While you're doing that, I just want to say the Bulk and Skull theme makes everything better. Like, can you imagine, like, in Train Spotting when Ewan McGregor sees the baby on the ceiling and then you hear the Bulk and Skull theme? That would just be the best.
7 when they walk into the room with the fat guy.
The song from Titanic. Near far, da 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 da. That's the backing track for the Celine Dion. My heart went. We're gonna do an experiment. This would be a social experiment. We're just gonna start putting that theme behind everything.
I just want the shot from.
This should be a channel. Bulk and Skull make everything better. That's the channel. You just go fight. Nobody can steal this. This is mine. I'm gonna do it.
I want the scene from.
It's Manos. It's Manos. It'll be a collaboration between me and Manos.
That's right.
I want the scene from the end of Aliens when she's got the big mech suit and she yells her line at the alien queen. It's just. Let's just keep doing it to James Cameron things.
Or the Wonder Woman theme. I want to replace that in BBS when she shows up.
Oh, that should have been the song they played when the Zords were running instead of theme.
Okay, I apologize, guys. We've derailed. I've lost my mind. Oh, you know what? We didn't talk about the Joss Whedon Batgirl thing. Let's end with that, shall we? So you've heard about this, right?
Yeah. So we talked about it.
Did we? I forgot. So
yeah, because I said
it
is the now second director we have heard that Warner Bros. Is in talks to,
right, yeah.
Who will not make a movie if they can't make the movie they want to make.
Yeah, and I don't know what to make of this. With that announcement, and then the other one was what again?
It was Matthew Vaughn.
Matthew Vaughn with Superman, right? With the Man of Steel sequel, right? These are guys, as Eric said, that if Warner Brothers doesn't give them enough leeway, they won't play ball. And I don't know why they would even think to go to them unless they were willing to change how they're doing business and micromanaging movies. And I'm kind of worried that they actually have not at all changed their. You'd think that there would have to be some kind of a change in who's running things, right? Like you'd think you'd need things to be moved around upstairs before that can happen. I don't know how the people.
Unless this is us finally seeing the results of Jeff Johns'
yeah, maybe it took that long.
Move.
Yeah.
But guys, I'm not holding my breath until somebody actually starts making a film, and even then, I don't trust that Warner's doesn't at the last minute get cold feet, put their tail between their legs, and start really mixing things up and cutting things to pieces, because those two guys, more than anybody else in Hollywood, they're going to take risks. They're going to try stuff.
Yeah.
And importantly, they are being put on exactly the right projects.
Yeah, Matthew
Vaughn is perfect for Superman. And Whedon and Batgirl's a no-brainer.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think, Manos?
I agree with whatever you guys said. It is, if this is true, if this is going to happen, it does seem to show evidence that DC and Warner Brothers has finally listened. They're going, okay, you know what? We don't know. We're going to stop meddling with this the way that we're doing, and
let's
letting directors be
people who know what they're doing.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's what Disney's been doing with the Marvel films. They put people they know who is in charge, and let them be in charge. That's what you do when you're in charge. You don't meddle with the people making the movies, because you don't know. You're in the business. Let the people who do the show do the show. And use your business skills to put butts in seats for those films, and leave artists alone. Let them make the projects. And hopefully,
the guidelines are understood.
This is what we're talking about.
Having a plan for all the films, like for linking the movies up and knowing you're going to a place, that's understandable. Having some guidelines.
Yeah,
these are characters you can't use. This is where we're ultimately headed, like Marvel with Infinity War and so. And we know that early on there was a lot more kind of monkeying with things and again micromanaging from on high, their mandates. And Marvel's become much more of a well-oiled machine, and they're not doing that to their directors as much anymore. To the point where Favreau is even talking about coming back.
Yep.
The thing that Warner's does not have right now yet that Marvel has is infrastructure. They don't have it.
Yeah,
and they need to hire these kind of directors and let them do their jobs before they can have that kind of well-oiled machine that Marvel has.
Yeah, one of the things that Shane Black talked about when he was making Iron Man 3 was that Joss Whedon's advice to him was, if you try and control everything on this movie, you're going to go crazy. Let the machine do its job. It is here for a reason. They don't have a machine. They can't let directors do that, and so that.
Mm-hmm. So, if that is what's going on, more power to them. They can finally reverse this. I almost said sinking ship, which would be just the worst of mixed metaphors.
Well, Marvel's going to come in and put the ship back together.
Right. We're referring to something.
A video you guys have not yet seen.
Is coming out tomorrow, but about the Spider-Man Homecoming as a metaphor for Marvel coming in and saving Sony, which is not my idea. It's something that came from an article I read. But anyway, well, folks, that's going to be it for us tonight. Thanks a lot for watching. We sure appreciate it, and we will see you again next Sunday night at 8 Central with another Geeks.Nerds live, because I don't think we have anything to spoiler cast.
Unless we want to spoiler cast Fate of the Furious.
You know what? That can happen. Eric really wants to drag me to that movie. I've never seen any of those, and he thinks it would be really funny if we did how he felt about that movie.
I've seen the first and second one when I was like 13.
That could happen.
And every time the trailer comes out, since Fast 5, they keep looking cool, and I kind of want to see them, but I don't. And this might be my last chance.
Well, just because it has Fate in the title doesn't mean they won't make 19 more, Eric. But
he throws a rocket across ice and it blows something up.
I don't know how you get any bigger than that. I don't like a missile comes out. And he's like, "Is that a missile?" And he gets out of the car and he guides the missile with his hands, a hand-guided missile at another vehicle. And I just looked at Eric and I said, "You can't go any bigger than this. That's it. You're done." And once you start doing planes instead of cars, that's it. You can't go anywhere else. And how do they not lead with that? Like I've had to sit through their initial trailer 100 times,
which looks like a generic whatever.
And I don't
movie.
care. And then they put out the new trailer, and they've got cars falling out of buildings, and I'm like, how did you not?
Oh, and like a million cars controlled by a computer whipping around the corner, all like together.
Bun plot, but a great plot for these. I have not seen these. I don't know, but that's what it seems like to me. Anyway,
that's Charlize Theron. You can never go wrong with Charlize Theron.
Manos, I'm so glad you were able to join us, buddy.
Yes, I'm just really happy to be here tonight. Glad to be part of the show again. I missed everybody.
We missed you. I'm going to cry. Tear. Everybody, thanks for watching. We sure appreciate it. I was Captain Logan. This is Eric.
I'm Eric.
And this was The Curious Low.
Bye.
And the real Manos.
Goodbye, everyone. I am leaving. Goodbye.